We have no other choice here, and I do mean this unfortunately. This player is not complying with anything we're asking. He's not sending us clips, he's not showing up, and he's ducking matches. He thinks he's going to be put through automatically to the next round. This has been discussed as a group and there's no other option. He's disqualified.
Probably for next time, yeah, but when I camped in the bush, she just fucking party lays at me.
So before, I kind of joined the more CVC side of things. I'd say I was quite a good sniper, probably above average.
You'll never lose if you just be patient. You'll never lose.
It's very good, and I was like, no, I think he's playing clean, just a very good player.
To be fair, I thought he'd done alright, but yeah, after then he was just getting killed.
Good morning to you.
Okay, box fights, red team, Waru. I think he did really well. He was using a pistol to fire in the air. He then switched to the Lancaster. He got 3 kills in a row. How do you think he did?
I think it went okay for him because, like you said, he never did box fights before. I think he just practiced one day before with one of his friends. So I think he did okay.
Yeah, what I liked about Waru is he found his sort of comfort zone, and his strength was with the Lancaster. What do you think about RT Killers? A massive win for him today. 6 kills in a row.
Because I was thinking that he is getting the last place because it was a hard team he has to play against, and he has done absolutely well. So I was really impressed that he was coming in first position with a spree of 6. I hadn't ever expected it from him, so
yeah, a massive shock, but well deserved. He put in the time and effort. Definitely a boost in confidence for him. Now, in regard to Vertzi, one of the things that impressed me about him is when I ran the flick spin move on him, a couple of times it kept catching him out, but he started to learn everyone's style and using his reflexes to counter, which was really impressive. And some of the other players just kept falling for similar moves to these and didn't change anything.
yeah, I was quite impressed from him because yeah, he did better as long as we played for. He was reacting pretty fast. He was seeing the moves, he was countering them.
Now, in regard to red team's box fights, RT Killers comes in first place with a score of 6. Vertzi in second place with a score of 5, and in third position, Waru with a score of 3, and Nuiak decided to duck and thought he was automatically going to be put through to the next round. Now, after the departure of EQ, there's going to be a 1 versus 1 between Kioxy and Nuiak to see who stays in the competition and who's eliminated. Okay, Nikki, we've got a serious problem with Nuiak. Now, problem number 1, we've got 9 other contestants that have been complaining about Nuiak taking repeated headshots. And at that distance that he was taking the headshots, impossible unless he's on tier 3s and minty game, which means basically he's not complying with the rules. Now, Nuiak has refused point blank to send us any clips on request. Now, players that are using Cronus or are tanking using tier 3s and Minty Game, they're not going to record their gameplay if they know they're violating the rules. And at the moment, he is violating the rules.
Because we all told him that he was taking headshots, and he didn't say anything to it. He's just saying, yeah, I'm good in the box and everything. But I mean, when someone is saying to you, you're taking headshots, maybe you could try to restart the game again or anything.
Yeah, I mean, restarting your server would solve that issue. And Nuiak was trying to blame Kioxy's server as being responsible for him taking headshots. And by taking Nuiak out of the session into a new lobby with Receptors and Waru, he still took the same headshots. The biggest problem I have here is the fact that he wouldn't record his gameplay. Point blank refused. Every time you were getting in the box, I noticed that he wasn't even firing in the air. So obviously when I jumped in the box, I held the gun in the air to see if he would fire, and he didn't, and he just killed me. And when we pointed this out, he started to fire in the air, but he's trying to fire way before anyone's even ready.
It was a little bit crazy that he didn't accept it, and he was just feeling that he's the best player in the...
Yeah, I just think that going into box fights, we need to keep an eye on him trying to create an unfair advantage. Firing 2 seconds before someone else is fired is bullshit. As far as I'm concerned, if he doesn't clip anything that we're requesting into again, we cannot justify that he's abiding by the rules, and he's done.
Probably, okay, so I've been playing Red Dead Online competitively, like only online, like PvP. I would say for about, because I stopped playing the game for a year, a little over a year on my Receptors account because I like maxed everything out, so I got bored. But then I found you on YouTube. Actually, I found you on YouTube, and I watched all your videos. And was like, dude, I really want to start playing this game again. So then when I started watching you, and I started watching a lot of your tips, and I used your settings. I use your exact settings. I already told you that.
Sure.
But as soon as I started watching you and watching more Red Dead stuff, it made me want to get back into the game. So like I've been PvPing legit. I've been playing the game since it came out, but playing competitively and PvPing legitimately for about 4 months.
Now this situation with Nuiak has come to its end. He's now been disqualified. He refused point blank to want to fight in the box, and he completely ghosted us. He refused to respond to a 1 versus 1 with Kioxy, and he ghosted us. He's now been disqualified. Receptors has informed us that if he has to snipe or if he has to box fight or anything like that, he's gonna duck, and he thinks I'm just gonna put him through to the next round for free. When I asked him about the box fights, I spoke to him 2 days before. He confirmed that he was coming. I messaged him the day before and an hour before the box fights, and he literally ghosted me for 3 days. When I ordered the 1 versus 1 with Kioxy, again, he ghosted me. It's unacceptable. He's ducking the matches deliberately. Everything that we have is documented. Everything we have is justified. After the elimination of Nuiak and EQ, we now move into the 1 versus 1 round, where each opponent has to fight a player from their own country. First up is going to be Vertsy against RT Killers, then Diatex versus Receptors, Sulfur versus Kioxy, and last but not least, Waru will be taking on Demon8 Inside because they're both from Germany. Now, this is going to be the best of 2 matches. Each player can pick their own match to fight in. Any players that lose both matches will be eliminated.
Yeah. No. What do you want to do? Level 2?
I've got a lot of fun. I've been making a lot of fun. We don't have to use them if you don't want to. I'd rather not discard them. I can show you how many I've got at the start and show you how many I've got at the end if you want.
No, hang on a minute. What you want to use level 1s, yeah?
We can use level 1s for this, but I'd rather use something more than level 1s than use Alright.
Okay, fair enough. We'll do that, yeah.
If you want, you can go cross after.
Right, yeah, we do level 1 for the box, then obviously for the
I'm just going to give me a second.
Okay guys, you know what's on the line. This is first to 12. This is RT Killer's match of choice. The rules have been made clear. No body spamming's allowed, headshots only. When you fire in the air, fire reasonably at the same time. Nice counter, 1-0.
What is that, 4 now, isn't it? 4, 5, 4.
A very humble 4. Vertsy's accuracy is spot on every single time. His reflexes, then accuracy. It's a combination of both.
Oh,
Making a comeback at 4-1. But is that alcohol going to be enough?
I thought that was a smoothie.
Oh, mate, very quick there, man.
It's the
Thank you.
accuracy.
Quick.
It's the accuracy.
Yeah, he's on it, mate.
Oh, nice.
What number you on now, Vertsy?
10, I want to say.
Is it 10-3 or something like that?
Someone's been doing their homework. That's impressive. So Vertsy was the clear winner of this bout, winning 12-4. They now move on to the first to 2 CVCs at Emerald.
You do twos? You happy with twos?
Dudes, I'll tell you how much shit I've got. I've got 33s and I believe it's 60 mini. I can screenshot it if you want. I don't wanna.
What,
There's been occasions where I've tanked some insane stuff and I don't wanna look like I'm cheating.
That's cool, man. What, you want to use mini? I ain't got no mini, but
If you don't have mini, I'll not use mini.
yeah, I ain't got mini.
It's start. Oh, it's fine.
Man, the reflexes on that. Killers. Now, what went wrong today, mate?
He was countering me all the time, do you know what I mean? But really quick, on point. And then I had to sort of change mine, sort of wait for him to like point up, stood up.
Because you played in the box with Vertys before. I just wanted to know, like, what changes do you feel that he's actually made in the box? Like, you saw it firsthand.
Mate, do you know what it was? His movement, for one, and obviously his accuracy. It's like, yeah, out of this world. Do you know what? He's really quick. And I was actually saying this to Jez earlier. Did you get any paints on me at all? Like quick paints and that?
In box fights, I don't wait for paints. I kind of shoot in them. I don't know if you saw in the feuds. I kept just diving up to try and get a pin.
Yes. Yeah.
When you're in the bushes, obviously I couldn't lock on. It was just down to the fact that the bushes weren't bulletproof.
Now, with RT Killers losing both matches, that takes us through to the next 1 versus 1. Blue, you finally landed. One question I wanted to ask you: what player did you first see on this game that inspired you to want to compete?
Probably XFinTB. He was like a role player, like kind of player back in the day, but like he was really good with Pib.
What clan was he a part of?
Western Empire. I've had the game since 2019, like December, and I did PvP from like 2020, like early 2020.
How fast are you at learning new things on this game, like fighting in certain styles that you've not necessarily fought in before?
Pretty fast, because I used to do free roam a lot, which content sniping, but I don't really snipe anymore.
So, to our surprise, Demon, Receptors is now refusing to 1 versus 1 with Dietex. This has got everything to do with the fact that Dietex give him a 50-6, and now he doesn't want to 1 versus 1 him. He's ducking point blank. Now, judging by the amount of slander that he's thrown backwards and forwards between the players, him ducking a 1 versus 1 in a competition defeats the purpose of this competition. Not just that, but the shit stirring between players and the slander between players is amazing. I've never seen nothing like this. He demanded that I kick Kioxy out the competition because Kioxy is laggy. Who's he to demand that we do anything?
I don't get this point that he wanted to kick him out because I mean, it's part of the game, and everyone is lagging at one point in this game. So you can't say, oh, he's laggy. You have to kick him out of the competition. I mean,
if any proof comes back that players are using lag switches or anything like that, then we'll be disqualifying them immediately. As for Receptors, he doesn't get to decide who gets disqualified or kicked out the competition. He done the same to Nuiak by saying and suggesting he's using scripts. He did the same to Nuiak by grassing up how old he is. He did everything to get him out the competition, and then he celebrated when he was kicked out, and now he's best friends with him. It's bizarre behavior.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, he had a big chance in this competition, and yeah, he lost his chance because he was acting stupid and childish. I was once in a party with Receptor and Receptor's friend and everything, and they were accusing Nuiak of using scripts and everything, and now they are friends or best friends or whatever. They're just hanging around the whole time. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially when he's playing with a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. Doesn't make any sense to me because he's an adult because he's 20.
We had no idea that Nuiak was 12 years old. He grassed up Nuiak for being 12 and wanted him kicked out the competition. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description of the next episode so everyone can see exactly what was said between players. But ultimately, Receptors has been disqualified for refusing to fight a 1 versus 1 in a competition that involves 1 versus 1s. If players are not quite getting what this situation is, it means you've entered a tournament where you have to fight players. If you don't want to fight, you're disqualified. For me, it's embarrassing. And it's quite simple. There's a pattern forming in this competition that if players can't do something, they're just going to rage quit, they're going to duck because they don't want to be exposed for the things that they can't do. And the players like Waru and Dietex thus far are taking on every challenge without question, and they're doing extremely well. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we're going to start switching up the heat. If players don't know how to use a Carcano, get out of this competition. If players don't know how to fight in the box, get out of this competition. We are looking for one of the strongest players in this game. We're not looking for a player that can fight a PIB match at one feud spot but can't fight anywhere else on the game. And I'm going to give players fair warning how stupid this sounds. A player says, I'm the best player on Red Dead Online. I fight CVC PIB. Okay, I then see you in a free roam. I pull out my Carcano. What time is it? It's farm time because I'm going to farm you from Valentine to Rhodes. And I'm really happy to see the amount of players, especially from Xbox, that are ducking matches, because it just goes to show they're not the best players on this game. They're pretenders and they're being found out. When we get down to the final four, the real competition begins.
About to get killed by a scope. Gonna scope me right here. What are we going to, by the way, Destiny?
I believe it was agreed 1st to 15.
Alright, we'll do 1st to 15.
What's the score so far?
It's 3-0 to me.
Okay, and then after this you have the snipe fight, yeah?
Yeah, then we have Long Island. You're so mean.
Your tank is
You were out of black on that spot. That's not gonna do damage.
That's 4-0 so far.
No, I'm running away. I see what you're doing. No, I'm staying over here.
Oh. Don't do that. That's mean.
It's me.
Yeah, that's me.
It's right there. Oh my god, lag.
5-1, an even trade.
Yeah. Did I kill you too?
Alright, we traded. Yeah, we traded.
Yeah. Oh, dive spamming already.
Stay away. Oh, I put on a pistol. Uh-oh, that's scary. Not the time to pull out a pistol.
Let's get someone out there on foot.
How did you not die there?
That's 6-2 now.
I got red eggs.
You only do necklace or pistols too?
You can do both.
Yourself.
You can do both. I'm just trying to stay away because you're scary.
Bro, Waru's a dangerous player.
Why am I just fucking staying with her?
Oh, nice. Nice.
Waru making a comeback at 10-5. $11-5. Meanwhile, in Armadillo, Sulphur and Kioxy got it on in their CVC 1st to 10. So Alexi, you're Sulphur's wife. You have a child together and you met on Red Dead Online, which is absolutely amazing. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
We started talking a bit, and he said that basically everyone he knew stopped playing Red Dead, so he was looking for new people. And we started playing together.
Wow.
Wow.
everyone here in my city, when I told them the story and I told them that he was coming to visit me, they were like, "Oh, he's gonna kill you, chop you, and put you in a bag, in a suitcase, and throw you somewhere." Yeah. And I'm not saying this because he's my husband, but I think it could be almost everyone in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
If only he kept playing like the way he used to.
Yep. And that's part of the problem, because the game's changed a lot and it's broken even more, probably more than it's ever been.
He was very, I don't know, he was very angry at times when he used to play. Like before meeting me, before coming here, he was like, he looked like a beast when he was playing. And now he's just like very disappointed by the game, by those that keeps cheating and lagging. So he's just very, he doesn't have like the right motivation to play.
Yeah, it's hard to stay hungry on a game where Rockstar don't want to fix or face up to the issues within the game. I understand how that goes.
He used to be against every kind of cheat, even glitches in game. I've never been against glitches, and I'm not ashamed to say that I use glitches if I have to. Like, if someone jumps me off radar, I have no problem to go off radar. Used to hate these things. Like, he used to play clean, and now he just gave up. So he's pretty disappointed. And this is negatively, like the way he plays, like in a very negative way.
I'm actually quite interested to see what Sulfur can do with a Carcano, because that's my favourite weapon on the game.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He says he's a bot with Carcano, but that's not true. He's a solid player with Carcano. And he's pretty good with Carcano. He's even better with Rolling Block, in my opinion.
Now, the final score landed at 15-7 to Diatex in the PIB free roam match, and now they're about to get it on sniping on the island.
Yeah, let's do first to 15.
Yeah.
First to 15. Yeah, give me a chance.
Level 1 tonics or level 2 tonics too?
Use level 2. I'm probably thinking with Charge.
I'm gonna record
it's
from
probably
the
3.
roof side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
That's all
ready?
level ones. Okay, then
I only have level 2s. Hold on, I gotta start recording too.
That's also why
Alright.
you was so tanky.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh. It's not looking pretty. I'm not doing good at this one.
That's 3-0 to Aru. Or that, go on Diatex, making a comeback. What's that, 4-1 now?
I have genuinely just started coming down shooting my deposit tonics at the beginning anymore.
5-1 now. Well done Diatex for taking on this match. No aim assist or anything, man. Now, the clear winner in this sniping 1 versus 1 with no aim assist was Waru. He was the first player to get to 15. And based upon Dietex being the first to 15 in Emerald, this match is a draw. They're both safely through to the next round. In the match between Sulfur and Kioxy, Kioxy won the 1 versus 1 CVC in Armadillo, and Sulfur won the 1 versus 1 sniping. They're both safely through to the next round. Because RT Killers lost both matches to Vertsy, unfortunately, he's been eliminated. That's now the 4th person to be eliminated. Let's catch up with some of the contestants to see what it was like to fight one another. So, Waru, you won the sniping. You lost the PIB match. If you could fight Dietex again in PIB, what would you do differently?
I would start using level 2 tonics.
I would have camped and just let him come a bit closer.
Probably for next time, yeah, but when I camped in the bush, he just fucking barley lasered me.
And so what do you think? You've played with all of the players in the competition. Who, for you now, who is the strongest, do you believe, that could cause problems moving forwards?
Dietex, 100%.
Dietex, you've just played Waru. What do you think about how dangerous this player is?
Like, with some crazy shots.
He certainly proved how good he is. But to be honest, I can't believe that you actually agreed to take him on sniping with no aim assist whatsoever out in the open. That's crazy. And it just goes to show how much courage you've got and confidence in your skills to take on the players no matter what the match. And other players from Xbox are ducking matches.
I've literally never touched a Carcano and done no aim assist. Aim assist on, and I was doing pretty good against him, so if there's aim assist allowed, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, of course, and that's something you can try to negotiate if you're ever in that type of match again. If you was to fight Waru again, obviously PIB, there's no question how good you are, but if you were to fight him again with the Carcano, what would you do differently?
You will never lose if you just be patient. You'll never lose. You'll always win.
Wise words. You're doing extremely well anyway. Knowledge beats skill every day of the week. Someone can have skill, loads of talent, but with no knowledge, they're going to get beaten every time. So, just over a year ago, we invested in Lag Switch Test Data. We're the only channel that has actually put money into something like this. Kioxy has just been found out to use a lag switch within this competition. That son of a bitch is disqualified. This is absolutely disgusting that he's felt necessary to do this in front of an audience of thousands of players. Not only that, but all the other contestants had to fight on the island, and Kioxy had to fight Dietex, and he point blank ducked the match and sent a message stating he wants to fight at a feud spot instead. This is just another dumb player that wants to make up his own rules. Everyone else has had to fight on the island. This guy thinks he's exempt because he can't do it. This guy's done.